Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Rosalie Dodani here from The Purifying Place. Today we're going to talk about relationships. And I feel like this is a topic that people, want to learn about, need help with. I know for me, definitely, this is something I struggled with years ago. And let's dig right in. It's from karmic patterns to conscious partnerships. 5 things you must know to stop dating the wrong people. And again, so many women ask me about this. Why do they keep attracting karmic relationship patterns? And how do they get out of that loophole and begin to participate in relationships that are conscious, soul aligned, that truly serve them and who they're becoming, and so that they can feel peace, joy, love, acceptance, all the good things that a lot of us are searching for outside of ourselves. And so if you feel stuck repeating same old exhausting cycles from dating the wrong people, then this conversation is for you. And we are talking about it through the lens of relationships, like in dating and maybe possibly marriage too, if that's you. But know that this applies also for friendships as well, and any kind of relationships. So let's get clear on why this happens, how to break that cycle, and what it really looks like to date from a place and connect from a place of empowerment. Number one, dating from wounds versus dating with purpose. There's a huge difference between dating with purpose and dating from your inner wounds. When you're dating from inner wounds that you might be aware of and might be unaware of, some signs of that are overgiving, to feel worthy, to feel loved, to feel seen. You feel like you have to give, 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 give all of you, to show that you care. Chasing emotionally unavailable partners, people who don't want to connect with you, don't want to have a serious relationship, show up in a very emotionally unavailable way, yet you still feel drawn to pursuing them. Getting attached too quickly and then feeling abandoned afterwards when it doesn't work out or when people exit the relationship or push you away. You confuse intensity for intimacy. So that you might have this really strong magnetic attraction to someone, um, and it might feel really intense, but that doesn't necessarily mean you have a conscious, healthy connection with this person, right? And that this person is someone that you're going to be intimate with. Another sign is you settle for crumbs instead of alignment. So you can probably feel, or maybe if you're, in this certain place too, you might not even be aware of it, that you're settling, that you know you deserve more, but you're going to take this because you feel like this is, at this point, you feel like this is all that you deserve, and you want this to work out so bad. You coming from a very controlling um, place because it is reflecting your sense of instability in yourself and insecurity in yourself. And so you'll just settle for anything. Crumbs. These patterns come from childhood wounds and subconscious beliefs that tell you, this is what love is supposed to feel like, even if it's hurting you. And when you begin to learn how to date with purpose, just like with healing, it starts with awareness and intention. Because when you have the awareness that, hey, this is happening, now you're empowering yourself with that level of awareness to choose the intention moving forward. Because so long, a lot of people are stuck in karmic relationships, and you can call them toxic relationships too, where they're not even aware of what's happening. and they think it's all normal. And then they don't have the awareness, and then they're not empowered to then make the shift or the change, which is why a lot of people have awakenings or radical energetic shifts and changes after a breakup, because that breakup is almost like, it dispels them. It's the wake up call that, oh my gosh, this fell apart. No matter how much I tried to control it, no matter all, how much I gave, and then from that almost like rock bottom place, then they get this awareness, and they have more realizations as they start to look within, and then they gain the awareness to make more conscious intentional choices moving forward, and thus shifting their consciousness. Whereas some people might be in a breakup and then just jump right back into another karmic relationship, another, and just continue that loop, and never looked internally, never, um, took ownership over that, and it's just replaying that cycle over and over again. So, hopefully with this video, you can be empowered to know that you have a choice and that you don't have to continue these toxic cycles over and over again. All right, number two, karmic relationships versus conscious partnerships, and some signs that you're dating from wounds. So, karmic relationships, again, they're fiery, they're magnetic, they might even feel a little chaotic and repetitive. And they're reflecting to back to you, any unhealed wounds and unconscious patterns that you may have. And on the flip side, conscious partnerships come from, your own, self responsibility, your healing, your self awareness, and they're rooted in respect, emotional connection, and availability, and soul alignment. So, if you keep attracting the same type of partner who either triggers you or pulls away, consider, are you attached to their potential rather than the reality of who they are? Because that could be a sign that you're in a karmic relationship. Are you ignoring your intuition to avoid being alone? Are you compromising your standards to keep this connection because you feel like nothing else is going to come, or nothing better is going to come, or who would love you after this, or I'm getting older and I'm running out of time, like all the lack thoughts, right? Um, are you seeking relationships to avoid being with yourself? And know that these relationships, these karmic relationships, they're bad luck, right? People like say, "Oh, I just have bad luck with dating. I can never find anyone good out there." Yada yada, all the stuff that people say, right? Um, see them as, here's a reframe, to see them as energetic, divine invitations and opportunities, and portals that you can step through for growth, for expansion, for healing, because um we are one with all that is. The universe truly has our back. And all the experiences you're having, whether, we put a label on them and we judge them like, oh, that was a bad relationship, or that was a good relationship, or this and yeah, all this stuff that we project onto this experience because of our humanness. But when we can look from a broader lens and see that we are 100% loved and accepted for who we are, and everything is pointing toward our expansion and our deep realization of who we truly are. So these karmic relationships are always nudging you back to the higher version of you, to get you to wake up, right? And recognize who you truly are beneath all this. And so ask yourself, am I operating from a victim mindset, or am I the empowered creator of this love story or relationship? Because if you're in a relationship where you constantly feel like a victim, then that is not a conscious partnership, right? Whereas if you are in a relationship where you feel empowered, you feel supported, you feel like you have the power to choose, um, then that is most likely more a conscious partnership, right? So, in order to get there, how can you shift your um, self talk to why does this keep happening to me? Again, victim mindset, blame, lack mentality, to what can I heal and embody to create a new experience, a new type of relationship, a new partnership. So you're still participating in the same karmic relationship in the moment, but each of those sentences offers a perception, a perspective to see it in. Whereas the first one is very victim based and lack mentality and fearful. The second one, what can I heal and embody to create a new experience, is self-empowering, self-led, self-responsible, creative, right? Because you're wanting to create. It has the awareness, the consciousness, the power to choose. So this is your doorway to conscious love, right? um it all lies within you. I know that sounds so cliche because I feel like people hear that all the time and they're like, yeah, right, but I can't just love myself, I can't have a relationship with myself. And the truth is, you can. When you deepen that relationship with yourself, you have no choice but then to find and attract and mirror back that in your partnership, in the person that you're going to connect with. um And on the flip side, if you do not do prioritize your inner healing and you're still living from those old wounds, then the relationships that show up in your field are going to mirror that back to you. So there's really no way around it. There's no shortcut. There's no quick fix or trick, right? A lot of people are looking for, and I know people have asked me about too. Um, just know that when you do your inner work, you're healing your healing journey, that this is the most beautiful, um lasting way to get the results you're looking for. Okay. Number 3, why inner healing work is non-negotiable. Yeah, no, right? Um Healing is essential to break karmic cycles. It's not about being perfectly healed. Not about never having triggers, it's about expanding your embodiment of your truth. And even when you step into more conscious relationships, that doesn't mean there's going to be no problems ever. If anything, your partner still does mirror to you any unhealed parts and aspects of yourself. Although the way that you go about it interacting with each other is different than a karmic relationship. Whereas in a karmic relationship, it might be messy, there might be fights, there might be shouting, there might be slamming doors in each other's faces and breaking up and getting back together and all this chaotic energy. Whereas in a conscious relationship, you are both being accountable for you and taking that radical self-responsibility, and also holding space for each other to consciously and with awareness be mirrors, right, for each other, and support each other in that healing and expansion and their growth. So again, one is not um, without any humanly problems and things that arise in our human experience. It's just the way, the process that we go about moving through them is different. And think, do I want to continue with this karmic cycle process, or do I want to participate in more conscious, loving partnerships? Um, so, you know, again, when you need to focus on the inner healing, because the awareness of your old wounds, the limiting beliefs, allow them to stop controlling your life, especially your love life, right? And I just did a reel about this, is you have to be really honest with yourself and look back at your experience and see what kind of relationships have been participating in my life this far. And in my mid-20s, I'll give my own personal example. In my mid-20s, when I think it was 25 or 26, and I had just broken up with who I was with for 6 years, going on 7. And I thought my life was over. And, oh my gosh, I'm so old. I'm never going to find love. Will I even get married or have children? Yada, 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 all the stuff we tell ourselves. Very victim consciousness, right? Just spiraling down. And I had to that breakup was, one of my awakenings where I had to really be honest and look and see, wow, look at this pattern repeating in all my relationships in my life for the past 25 years. And who is the common denominator here? I am. And I had to kind of take that ownership and realize, yes, you've had very hard things happen. Although you've been choosing the victim consciousness, you've been choosing to blame, you've been choosing to outsource your power over and over and over again. And until you can take ownership for all that you've created this far, the good, bad, the ugly, everything else in between, then you're never going to create something new, right? And with that, I was again able to gain the awareness and have the realization and empower myself to make a more conscious intention moving forward. And um, that also was partnered with having the humbleness to admit I need help in this area. Like I need to start learning and searching outside of myself and my environment and just the people around me to find the answers that I haven't been able to get with the last 25 years of my life. And so that really was a big part of my healing journey as well, where I began to learn more and integrate those learnings and um, reflect on myself more. And, you know, I've always been this very reflective, introverted type of person. Although it was just a next level version of it. And that required me to look within, right? Not cover it up with another relationship, not cover it up with um, binge eating ice cream because I was sad, not covering it up with shopping until I felt better, right? I really had to sit with myself and look within um, for those answers and take control of my life. Um, and the way that you stop letting those old beliefs take control of your life and your love life, especially, is when you can root yourself in the truth of who you are. Um, and then that requires unlearning all that you are not. So know that that inner work is a process and be a seeker of truth because I know how it is. You're seeking the truth, you're seeking, and you will find it. You will find it. Because again, as you heal, you gain clarity, you learn boundaries, you show up with more integrity, not just in your love life, but in all relationships. And from there, it's just a deepening and a deepening and a deepening again. And as someone who, that was 10 years ago now, right? I'm 36 now who has a very beautiful marriage with a child and very conscious relationship where we support each other. And it again doesn't mean I'm all done with this. We still have the inner work. We still have that deepening into realizing the truth more and more of who we are and expanding our containers and our energetic containers to hold more of that, right? To let more of the light in, more God in. And the more we do that, the more empathetic, loving, kind, patient, wise that we get, right, in our relationships. And people might see my relationship or other relationships like mine and think, oh my gosh, it must be so nice to have that. And people think, oh, well, I want to get that too. And again, there is no quick fix. And people, again, it's like with the internet, you see a picture of people who look so in love and have the best of their life and this and that, but that's not the truth, right? That's just one dimension of our experience here on earth. And the beauty and the love and really in a relationship truly really comes when you can hold all aspects of your being, right? The hurt, the betrayal, the love, the joy, the everything else in between. Um, that is what I think creates this lasting divine union with God and with the person you marry here on earth or the person you're going to spend your life with in this lifetime. Um, because we're not perfect. Nobody's perfect. And if someone's trying to look that way, simply not true. Okay. Number 4, get clear on your non negotiables and embody them. Ooh, this one is so good. I made sure to include this because while you're dating, and again, I just explained like to me when I went through that breakup at 25, thinking I'm never gonna find anybody who's gonna love me, blah 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 blah. But when I started my own inner healing, you begin to, you're no longer in that mode of, "Oh, I'm gonna accept crumbs. I'm just gonna, chase people who don't want me." You start shifting and realizing because again, you have this awareness to choose something different for yourself. And so you begin to choose yourself more. You begin to say, you know what? I do get a say in what kind of relationship I want to participate in. And that, with the awareness, you can start shifting towards that. And so, what I did on my journey, and I think what will help a lot of you is, and you hear this advice a lot, is make a list of everything, all the qualities you want in your dream partner, in the person you want to spend your life with or whatever you're looking for. For me, it was marriage, um, a life partner, right? And I listed all of the qualities. And this list I made, I really had to know what my own values were in order to make this list. And after I made that list, I even threw in some fun ones, right? Like make these non-negotiables, but I also threw in some fun ones like tall, handsome, um, fit and things like that, but really focus on your non-negotiables. And for me, that was values, a lot of my values. Um, like, do they smoke? Do they not? All the stuff. But and then absolutely put anything in there that you can't live without. Like you need them to have this, like faithfulness, love, like whatever it is. But anyway, getting to the point. After I made that list and I looked again and made sure, okay, do I really need that? Can I live without that? No, that has to stay. Like really narrow it down. And I think I still had at least probably like 20 qualities on there, and I asked, and it's funny as I'm doing that exercise, I think, how will I ever find someone that embodies all of these? Like, especially coming out of a very toxic karmic relationship where you're settling for crumbs and now you're shifting your awareness and you're becoming more intentional and you're doing your own inner healing. So you know you're worthy of more. And you make this list, and then you might think, like, oh, like, what? How am I ever gonna find that? I know a lot of my clients too can relate, and I'm sure you guys can too, just like I did in that in that situation. Although this is the part that then I didn't know what I was doing. Now I know exactly why it worked, but this is the part that you don't just make the list. It's not like a vision board where you like print something out and stick it on a board and don't think about it ever again. This is your list that you look at, and then you reflect internally and ask yourself, am I embodying these qualities too? Right? How much do I embody each of these qualities? Because if we're expecting this in a partnership, we sure as hell, sorry, pardon my language, we sure as heck should be embodying this as well. So if we, for example, one of the things on my list was someone who's financially stable. When I reflect and ask myself, how financially stable am I? Whoo, girl, it was real bad at that time. And and again, this is not to judge yourself. This is not to say, shame on me for asking for that. You don't deserve that. This is an empowerment tool, right? Because you are not going to attract a person who is all of embodied in these things if you're embodied in this, right? You are gaining the awareness and setting the intention and being conscious and empowered enough to choose to live your values that you say you value so much. And in the process of that, you attract that, right? Because you become the match for that. You become the reciprocal, and that magnetizes to you. Because if you want a conscious partnership, you have to become conscious love within yourself first. And again, this accountability, full accountability for yourself, instead of searching outside of you for something to fulfill you, you becoming aligned within yourself first, that is magnetic. That is super magnetic. And so, I'll use my example to help illustrate this for you is once I got the rude awakening, like, oh girl, no, all these qualities, you have some work to do. And at the same time you could say, oh, well, that's judgmental and makes you feel bad about yourself. If anything, it felt empowering because I had the awareness and I knew exactly what to do now. And I could see um where I was still falling short so that I can then expand into my fullness because I did value those things. I did love those things. I did want those things for myself. I had to be willing to give those things to myself first, right? Instead of expecting someone else to insert it for me. Um, and sure enough, uh, as soon as I started working on that list, on those traits, on those values, and embodying that more and more, and the way you are able to embody that more and more is by doing your own healing, doing your own inner work, right? Sorry if you can hear, there's like people, gardeners outside. But yeah, so you're expanding your consciousness, you're expanding your capacity to receive love because you're giving it to yourself. Naturally, you're going to attract love, right? You're going to attract that counterpart, that mirror that mirrors back to you who you're already becoming and being. And I love this. This is, as soon as I started working on this list, I manifested my husband. And we didn't become like we didn't get become serious super quickly, but he was in my field. I could see him and I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's the kind of person I'm looking for." But I did not chase him. I did not say, "Oh my gosh, now I need it." Again, this is not something outside of me that needs to fulfill me. I chose to stay focused internally on myself, and when he could see how embodied I was in my own love for myself, that's what attracted him. And then as soon as he confessed he loved me, we got married very soon after that. We had a child very soon after that. And it's just been great since that. I mean, there's other stuff that happened, but we have this very strong union now. And you can have it too. You can have it too. But yeah, after I started dating my husband, then I looked at the list and I kid you not, I was just so flabbergasted that he hit every single one. And again, I want to reiterate, it wasn't because I had 100% embodied each of those values that I was able to um, find this divine match for me, right? I had just started. But the shift in the energy was I had the consciousness, I had the awareness, I had the intention, the aligned action and beingness of what I was looking for, of what I was becoming myself. And so it happens faster than you think. It's so exciting. And so stay faithful on your path. Stay faithful to who you are, to who you're becoming, and watch your life change faster than you think. All right, number 5, trust divine timing and take aligned action. So again, not once did I go and chase someone or say, "Oh my gosh, is it here yet?" and all this stuff. Take that aligned action within yourself internally as you do that inner work and healing, and know that love will not show up on your own timeline, but it does when that energy shifts, when you're energetically ready to receive it, just like I explained to you in my example. And trust that divine timing and take the aligned action. Say no when something isn't right. Speak your truth. Stay open but discerning when you're dating. Let people reveal who they truly are and then believe them the first time they show you. And don't cling to illusions. The more you live aligned with your truth, the clearer that your love radar becomes. And you just send out the signal again with your aligned action, with your own inner healing, inner work, um, embodiment of your values and the qualities that you hold so dear. You become this frequency of what you are, which then attracts the love that you're looking for. Okay, so this was a lot, but hopefully from this you understand that dating doesn't have to be a frustrating cycle over and over and over again, right? Um, you're not broken. It's not the end of the world for you. There is hope, and you have the power to change your relationships, right? It's not, love isn't a puzzle that you have to solve. You instead of seeking love, become love. Be loved, right? Love yourself from within, and realize that you don't have to settle. When you make that list, right? When I made that list of qualities, do not settle, not once. Put everything you truly desire on there from your heart, all your God given desires from your heart, put them on that list and know that you will receive that when you also reflect the embodiment of that. So again, I hope this helped you. If you have any questions or need any guidance, know I'm a soul alignment coach. I'm a healer. I offer one-to-one coaching. And this is part of the process of what I help my clients do is move from that soul alignment and manifest these beautiful manifestations into your life, the relationship, the business, the clients, the money, whatever it is that is in your heart for you to desire from God, that's what's meant to be given to you. And what we do in one-to-one coaching with me is remove and let go and purify all that you are not so that you have the capacity to receive all of that love, all of that goodness um, in this human experience. So if that sounds good to you, be sure to reach out. I will see you guys all on the next video. In the meantime, have a wonderful weekend. I'll see you then. Bye.